So, I guess I'm vlogging again. I was feeling a little burnt out on vlogging, having vlogged every week for Draconathon. So, I've taken a break, and in that break, I have not read as much as I've wanted to. I started off on September 1st with a bang in like the best way, because I started Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden and finished it on the 2nd. It was 5 stars. It was so fantastic and fun. I feel like the pacing was really different from the first book. I thought I was gonna give it a 4, but by the time I finished it, like I had enjoyed it so much. I was so riveted by it that I ended up going with a 5. Sorry, my Discord is going off in the background because we are doing a Discord for the Stormlight archives, and it has been really fun in there. So if you are also reading The Way of Kings or anything else in the Stormlight archive series, just so you know, we have a Discord and it's lots of fun. I'll leave a forever link down below in case you want to join us. Yeah, after that, I have barely read anything. Specifically, The Way of Kings. I am still less than 100 pages into The Way of Kings, and the days are going by really slow, and I have to admit I'm in a kind of a rut. I have read so many amazing books, and I am sure The Way of Kings is one of them, but it's just not gripping me the same way other books are, and it is the longest one, so I've been trying to give it the most time and attention. The only other book that I have made progress on is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. That's because I have a live show coming up on the 12th over on Yumi the Book Demon's channel. That's a reread for me though, so it's like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm making progress, and I know that I was making a lot of progress really quickly when vlogging. I don't know if this vlog is going to be any fun, but I am going to be making it. My face is not always going to look like this. I just filmed a video. It was my newbie tag video. Not my newbie tag. I'm not a newbie. It was my newbie shout out video, and I'm really excited for it, and it needs to go up tomorrow, so I'm focusing on that right now, but then I need to read. Like, I need to read a lot. My load this month is much larger than my load for Draconathon last month, and I have gotten less done in the same amount of time. Like, if I'm looking side by side. Also, first thoughts on Way of King. There were like, or The Way of Kings? The Way of the King. The Ways of Kings, whatever, the Brandon Sanderson book I'm currently reading. I finally got through all of the different prologues. I know they're not all called prologues, but there was an interlude, which was long and confusing, kind of cool, but I didn't get much understanding out of it. Then there was the prologue, which was really neat. Brandon Sanderson has a way of writing directions. I don't know. He could tell me where the nearest bookstore is any day. He has an understanding of direction that really helps with fight scenes. There is a push and pull, a intuitive understanding of directional scenes that he just really gets. His fight scenes are very well choreographed. I don't know how else to say it. I really did enjoy that chapter, but it didn't really match up with the next chapter, which also felt like a prologue. It was from the perspective of someone who's not the main character, and it was our introduction to the main character. I felt like it was another prologue, so we just had a lot of time skipping forward and a lot of different characters and a very different world from Mistborn. I felt like Mistborn's world was really, really intuitive, and I went into this going, I'm not going to compare the two, but it's just impossible because there's a lot of comparisons to be had, including Kelsier's character next to Kaladin. There's also a female character that I was just introduced to. I'm hoping that I like her more as time goes on. Right now, I kind of actually got tired of her personality in her first chapter, and I don't remember her name yet, and I am sorry, because I know, like, none of these opinions are going to be popular. Everyone loves this series, and I'm expecting to love it too, but it's just, I was instantly in as far as Mistborn went. That's not happening here. I was instantly in with Elantris, which which is a standalone by Brandon Sanderson, and that was his first work. This is supposed to be his best. I was kind of a little bummed that it didn't grab me as immediately, but I'm also trying to work off a book hangover here. I'll have my Draconathon playlist linked up above, because then you'll see the month I'm coming off of and how it's not my fault that I'm not super into the Way of Kings right now. It'll happen though. This is my very long, wordy introduction to a vlog in which I will be reading Way of Kings and some of the other books that are on my Becca's Bookapolathon TBR. Let's cut away to me doing something. updates to say I am at the river. I have no Wi-Fi signal, so I'm just reading. And we're all hanging out and having fun at the river. I started Bloom, and I think I'm probably most likely going to finish it. It is so cute. Really, really, really freaking cute. I don't like most of the characters, but in a really realistic way where they're all having very realistic dialogue and their dynamics make a lot of sense. And yeah, I like a lot of the different character dynamics. Just some of the characters are as annoying as you would imagine teenagers to be. Good stuff. My favorite character is hands down Hector. He is the sweetest little bean and I adore him. So, all right, that is probably the only update for the river. I'm gonna get in now. It's really, really hot.
Hi, nice kitties.
Little water skippers! Okay, we were at the river all day. I am back. I finished Bloom on the drive home. Super cute story. It says number 1 on the side, which is weird because this very much so felt like a standalone graphic novel, so I don't know. Is there more of these? There were a couple things where I felt at the beginning a different tone was being set, and then it like kind of just worked itself out in the end, despite some things not seeming resolved to me. I felt like there was still more conversation to be had in the room, and that not everyone's needs were being met. This was my queer read that I had for Bookapolathon. Really just want to get into Winter Witch right now, but I'm holding off because I have a lot of books on my TBR, and I really need to give more attention to The Way of Kings. I haven't read any more since the last time I talked to you, and then I also have Beartown. Now, Beartown is one I thought I was going to pick up right away because I'm 40 pages in and I'm really into it, but but I'm going to take time to tab that one. Not all the way through, but trigger tab it, because Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe was kind enough to go through it while she was reading, and she marked places that had my specific trigger in it. Suicide, suicide ideation, and suicidal thoughts specific to hanging. Those are all major triggers for me, so I will be going through and marking the pages and chapters that she set aside for me so that I can skip them and avoid them. And if that upsets you, I'm sorry. That's the only way I will be able to read it. It's either I don't read it or I read it while skipping pages. So I would rather read it. This is how I can get through it. I'll be doing that, but since I want to take time to do that and make sure that I'm doing it right, I'll probably save Beartown for the end, especially since I need to read so much more of The Way of Kings. I'm gonna read Way of Kings, and then I'm gonna read, what is it called? The Unhoneymooners, which is about a bride and... No, it's not about the bride and groom. Who is it about? These twin sisters. One of them is getting married and is super lucky. Not because she's getting married, like that's just part of her personality archetype, is that she's lucky. And then her other sister, Olive, I think, and she's incredibly unlucky. And while her sister's getting married, the entire, like, party gets food poisoning, including the bride and groom. Olive ends up going on the honeymoon with the... It's not first man. With the best man, and I'm guessing they can't stand each other, but they have fun on this honeymoon. I don't know. I think it's a romance. I am terrible at explaining this book. I'll let you know how it is when I start it. I'm gonna take a nap. It's pretty much just time to go to bed, but I'm gonna take a nap and then I'm gonna wake up and then I'll either check in later or I'll watch a show and check in with you tomorrow. Glad we went to the river when we did, because the fires have definitely hit Oregon, and specifically my county as well as several other counties. Pretty much all of California and the Pacific Northwest is on fire, and the air quality is really bad, and actually the area that we were in is also definitely now a level 3 red zone, and they're evacuating, so that was a really big wake-up call, and I just am hoping everyone is safe and okay. Yeah, it was a really large turn of events. I woke up this morning super excited for the fact that we had wind. It was like a windstorm happening, and it was really pretty and wonderful, and then it progressed and we realized like what was going on and that there were fires. It was no longer fun. So there's the bad part of storms. I love storms, but sometimes in practice they are not great, and I'm just thinking of everyone affected. Currently we are safe. We are in a level 1 area where we're just supposed to be ready, but we don't need to prepare and leave or evacuate. That's what's going on with me in my personal life. Apart from that, I've still been reading The Way of Kings. I'm just shy of 200 pages in. I've made it through the first interlude, and I definitely feel like I am enjoying it more, which I get it, because normally almost 200 pages in, you're like, I should know if I like a book or not, but this is a 1,000 page book, so I'm actually really not that far into the larger story. It is my sibling Dee's first day of high school, and we're gonna go get textbooks, and yeah, I don't know how. Internet is pretty much on and off, so I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to do the best we can. We also just had to stop at the post office, so things are getting Lysoled. Okay, that is the update for now. Things are getting chaotic. Damn, you just cannot quite catch that hue of orange on camera. It's orange, like dark orange. And then you have it get lighter over there. Very, very evident where the fires are. next day, I think it's 60 days, 59 days until the Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter are out. That's the only way I'm able to calculate days, because otherwise days don't mean anything. I don't know what day of the week it is. It doesn't mean anything to me. So it's a new day. My family and I are all still stuck in the house together. I'll go ahead and stick up the current air quality right now, but we are the worst in the nation as of today. So that's great. And it's really evident. We have not been outside. We are really, really fortunate to have central circulating air in my grandmother's house. So, yeah, we have quite a few family members in our house right now, and we're all just trying to, like, make the best of it. Dee and I are gonna make some pina coladas. We're gonna find a tropical movie or movies to stick on, and then we're gonna play board games. So, yeah, just trying to keep higher spirits and to try and distract, because there's not really anything we can do from here. I've been posting shelters that are available around Portland and, you know, kind of connecting more with Facebook, which is a terrifying place, but a lot of family members and people I know in the community versus globally are accessible through Facebook, and so checking to make sure people are okay, checking to make sure people have supplies. We have one painter's mask that seems to be working fairly well. One person is able to journey out if need be, but it's under extreme circumstances. As far as books go, because I technically think this is a reading vlog, I think it's an argument to be made, but I finished Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. So the live show on Yumi's channel is my tomorrow, your probably like last week, so you can rewatch it over there. It's for the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books Club, and guys, if you have not read Strange the Dreamer, go ahead and read Strange the Dreamer, and then read Muse of Nightmares, and then read it all over again, because the foreshadowing in all of this, there were so many details I picked up, just these little clever moments all the way through where I was like, oh my gosh, you knew the whole time exactly what you were going to do. They're just sprinkled throughout, and it's really good stuff. I am avoiding eye contact as I say that I have read another 50 pages or so of The Way of Kings, but I haven't read much more than that. And there's huge perspective shifts. So I finally got used to Shallan, was not into Shallan, finally was like, hey, you might just be interesting. I felt some intrigue, and then we had a perspective shift. Now we're following whole new characters, and I have to now try and find them interesting. This happens with adult fantasies, and I already knew there was multiple perspectives. I knew what I was getting into. My mood is super whack right now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and, in following with my pina colada and movie thing, I don't know why this happened. It must have been fate, but I'm actually gonna start The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, because this was on my TBR. You can watch my reaction to my TBR, and this definitely had the most mixed reaction, as this is definitely not my type of read, but I just don't want to be here right now. I want to be far gone, and I want to be in a place that is not distressed. And you know what? Kaladin's his name? Kaladin's real distressed. They're all real distressed there in the Way of Kings world. Rashar, I think. I'm just gonna pick up Unhoneymooners and see how that goes. This is gonna be the worst vlog ever. Alright, we are now going to the grocery store in a X-Wing. Hey, so sorry I look kind of like crap, but I'm pretty stressed and haven't really been reading. I feel like this is the non-reading vlog of the century. Fires are definitely getting worse, and our air quality is actually the major issue for us. Several of our family members have had to be evacuated from their homes and are staying with other family members, so I am glad that they're together, but it's a huge stress, and not knowing what's going to happen to their homes. I'm really glad that they're safe. Their animals also are safe, so it's just a best case scenario for my family, but it's still just really stressful. And because our air quality is so bad, we've kind of had to hunker down in the house with all of our various cats, which I believe totals in 5 unless I missed one, trying to navigate through Twitter conversations and trying to figure out what video I'm posting and everything like that. It's just not working right now. I am not high functioning. God, neither is my face. I'm not doing great. I don't even know if I'll post this. I think I most likely will because my vlogs aren't just for other people's entertainment, but for my records and recollection of like moments. And while I don't think I'll forget this one, I think it is worth noting. That's what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and I was studying Japanese earlier and trying to distract myself, but it was too stressful. I tried planning. I tried being productive is what I'm trying to say, and it wasn't working. So I'm gonna go ahead and be unproductive, just watch like a TV show. Okay, I just had a really fun live show with the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books Club over on Yumi's channel. I will have Yumi linked down below, as well as Nox and Cheyenne, who were absolutely fantastic. We had such good conversation, and it was so nice because everyone loved Strange the Dreamer. So while we talked about some of the things we would have changed or anything like that, it was all coming from like a really positive place, which is always fun when you're talking about your favorite book and you can talk about it in depth. I also know that I am blue. I probably should have started with that. It was well received because I did not ask to come on blue. I just showed up blue. Yesterday was a bit difficult. I was definitely having a down day and my mental health wasn't doing too great. I am feeling better today and I'm really excited about that because I can use this momentum to like have a good day and hopefully be productive, and then it'll lead to more. I was supposed to have a video up today, but I haven't done anything at all. And now I'm blue. So now I'm trying to figure out like, do I use this? What do I do with it? I don't know. If you see a video in the future where I'm blue, it's because I was like, I mean, how often? How often am I blue? Not often enough, honestly. As far as reading goes, yes, reading, that thing I haven't been doing whatsoever. I did start The Unhoneymooners, and it is really cute. It helped me through yesterday, for sure. It was just light and kind of absurd a little bit. I don't want to say tropey, but it's like very straightforward, a quirky like trait that this person has is that they're unlucky and they're clumsy and so on and so forth. And it allowed me to just like not focus on anything else other than just reading a book, and it followed my tropical theme. Pina coladas, bad Adam Sandler movies, and I started on Honeymooners. Today, I'm hoping to feel a little bit more productive. I'd like to do more of my Japanese. I would also like to get more of the way through Way of Kings. I couldn't help but have this take a huge swath of my time. So now that that is over, I think my reading will increase in how fast I'm going. I also have The Way of Kings on audiobook as well as physically, and I was reading it physically, but there are a lot of words in there. I don't want to say big words because that makes me sound juvenile, but there's a lot of words where I get frustrated with my dyslexia, and I was just not in a good headspace. I was not dealing with dyslexia yesterday. I think I'm going to be listening to it audibly while reading it physically. That's all I really have going on right now. I know it looks like I have a lot going on because I'm blue, but that is not the case. I'm going to go eat, read, be productive. Hopefully my next update will be just that, and I'll talk to you later. I am reading this, not this. This. It just faded to black. All that pent up. It faded to black, guys. What? You can't do that. Quick update. It is the next morning. I'm no longer blue. It took forever to get the blue paint off. Worth it though. Completely and totally worth it. I wanted to update you because I actually read something in this reading vlog. Phenomenal. So I read most of yesterday, The Unhoneymooners, and this is what I have left. That's pretty good. That's like almost a book in a day. First off, in reading this, realize I have never read a book like this before. I do read contemporaries. I have a contemporary shelf. They all have something, I don't want to use the word interesting going on. They have like a larger, like, high stakes thing that's happening. I have just never read a book like this, and so I was thinking contemporary was a genre in itself, but there's obviously subgenres of contemporary, and I've been reading a very specific subgenre of contemporary. That was good to find out as I read this because I was like, what is this? It felt completely foreign to me while I was reading it. The only thing I could compare it to was Just Go With It, the Adam Sandler movie we watched like the day before yesterday. Yeah, which was, I mean, It was exactly as it was intended to be. But there was a whole bunch of tropes and things happening in Just Go With It, including the line, just go with it. Fake marriage, and like they're trying to pull it off, and their exes and like co-workers show up at this random resort with them on the same week. And I'm like, what are the chances of that? Because I was like, wow, what a ripoff from Adam Sandler's like 2015 movie. And then I realized this must be a trope. These are the things that happen in these types of books. I think that this is something that regularly occurs in romantic comedy contemporary. Is this just romance? I'm finding that I'm more ignorant of this genre than I thought, is what my update is. And it's really fun. It's cute. It actually gives me the exact same emotions if I was to watch that type of movie. I can't say that I truly care, but like I've been laughing at some parts and the moments are really cute, and that's about it. I know that this is not the genre for me. I do have to be in a very specific mood, and it just so happens that I ended up in this mood at this time when this was on my TBR. I was literally in the mood for pina coladas, watching bad Adam Sandler movies. I ended up reading a book that just slipped right in. I'm not normally in that mood. I'm usually in a go out and do random things or be in a fantasy adventure mood. To be in a different world is wonderful, but to be in a world that's your own when things felt okay is a different kind of sensation. I don't know when I'll be in that mood again. Hopefully kind of never, because I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I will say that this is really great for people who need to just have a good time, just have a fun read. I can see someone reading this on the beach on a vacation and it just fitting the mood. Or if you really need to escape but you love contemporary, this is a good distraction to escape in your own world. It's really easy to read and it was really fun to read. I know I'm saying this as if I've already completed it. I'm a little surprised the rest of this is gonna be a little different than this portion of the book. A lot has happened and it feels like we're either reaching the end, like I don't know what else there is to say, but we still have this much left. There's a little bit of like family drama happening, so maybe that will be divulged further, or we'll just see the aftermath, I guess. I didn't know you were supposed to see the aftermath of a romantic comedy. I thought you were just supposed to be like ha 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 and then turn it off. So I guess books, you get the aftermath. Today or tomorrow will be the last day of this vlog because I want to have it out on Tuesday and it'll be the first 2 weeks of Bookapolathon. I feel like I might have gotten a lot done and a lot of it was off camera and I'm really sorry. It's all really weird right now and it's not capturing on camera correctly at all. It looks like Tatooine out there and I'm gonna move the camera your way and it's just gonna look like slightly foggy, and that's just not the case. If it looked interesting or thrilling to film, I would have done so. I promise you that. I have had and made pina coladas 3 days in a row. I will say though, I have begun to make them perfectly, and I'll let you know that the secret ingredient is brown sugar. Don't use regular sugar, brown sugar, and make sure all of the pineapple is frozen when you blend it. It's a good time. Why on earth would you say this to your boss? Y'all, the last the last little bit of this book is weird. Like, I don't know what is going on. All right. Spoiler, it's been boring since they left the island, because there is quite a bit of this where they're not on the island, and it's been a mixture of boring and just what the author must have been trying to be like, not like other romance tropes or something. While the first bit of this book has all been pretty on par for what you would expect, what you would want, what you're just trying to do to unwind, I can say for certain that the last half of this is her being like, oh, but all those little unrealistic instances, let's wrap that up too. And I just read through probably the most uncomfortable scene of my life. There's a scene with her boss that I don't know what to do with it at all. I totally understand not wanting to lie and feeling uncomfy in a lie. I don't think this lie was hurting anyone, and I think that the damage was already done. So at this point, this was a weird choice. That's all I'm gonna say for right now is like, what the hell? I know I haven't updated you guys like at all. I'm finishing Beartown, and this book I've been reading it like all night and it's really good, but oh my god, it's like the worst thing to read ever. I don't know, I have to keep reading. This is the most intense. I wasn't expecting this to go like this. I actually thought it was kind of boring at the beginning, and then I kind of wish it still was boring. There's just like a lot going on, and it's kind of making me sick, but I'm just gonna keep reading because I need things to be okay. Guys, things are not okay. I hate Beartown, but I'm definitely gonna read the second book. Well, procrastination is a hell of a drug. I managed to finish everything on my TBR apart from my main focus, which was The Way of Kings. I'm still only, where am I? Let's call it what it is. 225 pages into The Way of Kings. I have not gotten any further. I would love to know if anyone else is also participating in the Stormlight Archive read-along, which I am co-hosting. How far are you? Have you finished? If this is a read for you, how far are you the second time around? Does this book pick up? Does it get faster paced? Because I think that's mostly my main reason for having a hard time reading it. This is a chunker. This is one of two, by the way, because this is the UK editions. This is taking me quite a bit of time to get into, and I'm wondering when I'll really like just grind in. And I understand that normally I'm reading 400 to 500 page books, and I'm usually solidified by 100 pages. So I'm trying to think of that in the grand scheme of things, because this is 1,000 pages. Where do I rank here? I like the characters. It's very well written. In fight sequences, in moving pieces, he can see where all the pieces are moving in the room and tells you just enough for you to understand inertia and gravity are at work. Or maybe they're not. The point being, I do very much so like his fight sequences, but it hasn't been much of that. It's just been kind of everyone's in a bad situation, and that's how they feel about it. I also noticed after the fact, these are all blue. I don't know how that happened, but I finished the rest of my entire September TBR. I finished Beartown last night. I thought I was going to give this a 4-star. This has so many triggers in it. I will definitely list them down below, but I have to say, like, the entire book, all of these things are challenged, but this book is a challenge. I'll probably use that line in my wrap-up because I don't know another way of explaining this quite as well. In my TBR, I explained this as a book that is about a small hockey town and that there's a murder and it's kind of like all these friends. No, it is about a small hockey town, and I felt sick reading several different portions of this book. There is a rape scene that happens, and it is intense and gruesome and horrible and very, very realistic, and then it is the aftermath of that incident and how people react in a small, icy, wintry town filled with misogyny, toxic masculinity, and locker room culture. Very necessary. I'm glad this book is in the world. It was hard for me to be in the same world as this book. Very difficult. And it's my world, so that makes it all the worse. Yay, contemporary! Speaking of contemporary, my final thoughts on this are, I ended up giving it a 3 on Goodreads. It might be more like a 3.5. It's hard to tell because, wow, is this not the book for me? I think it was really cute and really well written, and there were some really good scenes, but there were also some really cheesy scenes. What was supposed to be like the big payoff scene in the end, for me, I was like, I just need this moment to end. I need this to be over. I wish the book would have ended about 100 pages ago, but it didn't. It kept going, and there were really great conversations in it. Also, just don't think this is the genre for me. When I was reading books out of my comfort zone, this is not what I had in mind, because I didn't know that this was a zone that existed, and it... my cold, frozen over Aquarius heart just cannot stand it. There was that. Bloom was super cute, contemporary, but it wasn't like, it had a larger picture. Other things were happening besides the romance, and I think that that's what really helped me with this. This has a sweet, pure, realistic romance set with the backdrop of people having social pressures and family pressures and like owning a small business and following your dreams, knowing who you are and who your friends are and who you're hanging out with. And I thought this did a really good job of that. My only critique really is that I felt like a couple of those issues weren't fully explored. Like, I felt like a couple things were left kind of tangled up, but I realized that this is number 1 in possibly a series. I'm assuming that those things are eventually tackled, but I did like what was tackled in this book, and it was really cute. I think I gave it a 4. I don't know. Check my Goodreads. Follow me on Goodreads. There's the plug. And finally, honestly, unless you just stumbled across this video and you watched it to the end, you know that I finished Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor for the second time. I did a live show. I made a specific video for this, so I'm just going to refer you to there, and you can go ahead and look at all of my thoughts. It's both spoiler-free and spoiler, so I start off spoiler-free and then I do a countdown. I do quotes with like butterflies flying through. I'm blue in it. You'll have a good time unless, I don't know, unless you hate me. Okay, that was my first 2 weeks. Mostly I'm really nervous to share it with you guys because I know that it wasn't fun. Yeah, I really struggled with whether or not to upload this vlog for a bit. That's why you didn't really see me reading Beartown, is because I had thought maybe I wasn't going to post this vlog. Everything fell apart. This is really awful. And then I was like, that's necessary to show for myself, not necessary for you. You don't have to watch this. It's necessary for me when I'm reflecting back on my life and my vlogs, how my life has been. I love looking at the good parts, but it is in contrast with some of the more difficult points in my life. And I think it's really important to understand it's not always a great time. It's not always perfect. Sometimes you're gonna have bad weeks. I've had a bad few. I hate to end this on a negative note because we are still pretty much locked inside our homes. The air quality is now very bad versus hazardous, which is fun. It's exciting. Don't know if it's staying like that. And the fires are depleting at a slower rate than, of course, anyone would want it to, but they are indeed going down. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't know how all of Oregon is doing right now, but I am sending out good vibes. Like I was saying earlier, the part of the reason I am deciding to post this is because at the beginning of this vlog, I am at the river and I had such a good time that day. I didn't know that area and where I was going to be on fire the next day. I was just enjoying it and like in the moment, and I think it's a really good reminder of like to enjoy those moments, to go out, explore. I have been able to look back while editing and just have really good memories, and I'm really happy that that part happened and that I have that to reflect on in this. I don't know if any of those thoughts made sense. I need to go ahead and start editing more. I haven't been editing because, again, didn't think I was gonna post it, and then I had an epiphany and realized like not everything's perfect, and now we're good. I will be vlogging my second half. I will only be focusing on, because there's nothing else to focus on. Thank you, procrastination. There's nothing else to read except for The Way of Kings. It will be the only thing I'm reading because I have nothing left, and if I pick up another book, I will read that in its entirety before I continue on. Don't let me do that. I know that I'm gonna be a 4 or a 5. I know it. I just have to get there. Well, I am really appreciative if you got to the end, and I look forward to knowing what you have been reading this September. Have you been enjoying your books? Is there any book on your TBR that you've been kind of like pushing off? I also hope you are enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye!